it's given me a unique perspective
Yeah.
to look at people and say, okay, is this somebody that's looking to join a team? Do
Mm,
they looking for a proven system? Do they want to be led? What are they looking for? And I
mm.
think that really has helped me with it. And also I think that um, it's the importance, I've learned over the years is listening to the franchisees.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Behind the Franchise. This is your host, Paul Ehlinger, and I'm super excited. We've got our guest, Rick Peroe, here today. Slight relation to Ross Perot, excitingly enough. We're not going to talk about politics today, though, but Rick, thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely, Paul. Thanks so much for inviting me on and giving me this opportunity to share a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to learn from you, and I know the audience will be too. Always like to start off, who the heck are you? How'd you get to where you are today? Walk us through what you're doing and where you've been.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's kind of a fun story. I ended up just falling into franchising like so
Yeah.
many people did. I actually was coming out of a career development center and got stopped by a young lady that was asking if I was interested in a job, and it was a job that was for 3 months that involved travel. And I said, sign me up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Uh, so I ended up coming aboard with a company, Jackson Hewitt, and really, it was a 4 month job. I started out counting receipt books in the warehouse, and then
Okay.
I was out in the field training franchisees how to install modems back at the time.
Oh,
So
goodness.
yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it was a job that lasted through tax season. At the end of tax season, they said, "Well, Rick, we think you can sell franchises." And I thought, well, I don't have another job, and it's going to take me about 3 months to figure out I can't do it, and I'll find something different.
Sure.
So I actually came aboard with the company was very young in its career.
Mhm.
I actually knew every franchisee by name. I knew their wives. I knew their kids.
Wow.
I remember doing franchise development. I poked my checks out at the table at a convention and say, I have 100 offices nationwide. And the business just really took off and grew. So I was involved with franchise development then for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And then, really had a passion for the business. I became a franchisee for a while,
Yeah.
and realized at a young age that it's not only about the idea that you invest in,
Mm,
it's more about the people behind it. And,
100%.
and I had the wrong people. And so luckily enough, I was young in my age. I went into operations with Jackson Hewitt, met fabulous people,
Yeah.
really, managing 50, 60 franchisees, came up to, manage a group of regional directors,
Hmm.
got involved with their Walmart agreement that took us from about 3,000 offices
Yeah.
to over 6,000 offices. The one thing I've learned is I love franchising.
Yeah.
I love franchisees. I love entrepreneurs. I like their passion, and I like seeing people build a dream.
Yeah.
And that really has been my background. And after leaving Jackson Hewitt, I was kind of scratching my head saying, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
And like I say, I just love franchising. System support, training. Has been my background. And I met a young man, Chris Webb, who was the president of our company
Hmm.
at Heart to Home Meals. And I know we'll get into talking to it a little bit
Yeah.
later, but really that it was a heartfelt mission.
Yeah.
It was something that not only was a chance for a franchisee to make profit and make
Hmm.
money, but also to give back to the community. And that really
Yeah.
spoke to me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. And I think I was thinking about it coming into this episode today. You had a career at Jackson Hewitt that's longer than probably a decent percentage of amount of franchises that have been around so far. And I say that out of respect. I think
Sure.
I love how you've had a chance to see so many different aspects of the business. And I'm curious, seeing all of that from Fran Dev to support to like your first job there for the seasonal work, right? Like, how much has that impacted your career, right? Like, I think a lot of Fran Dev people are kind of they're Fran Dev their whole career, they're sales guys through and through, but you've got this unique differentiation, right? How
Yeah.
has that impacted you?
Yeah, I think it really has impacted me well, and it's really
Mm.
suited me for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting a deal done,
Right.
and this is I've always said this is like a marriage. I'm asking somebody to invest a lot of money, and
Right.
I'm asking them to invest a lot of time.
Yeah.
If this doesn't go well, I'm stuck with you.
Right, for at least a decade,
And
right?
for too many franchisors out there, we give valuable assets, our territories,
Mm,
to people that may or may not develop them or
yeah,
squander them. And so I've kind of got a unique lens that when I look at somebody, I'm looking at Paul not only is this going to be a deal that we can get in, but down the road, am I going to meet Paul's expectations?
yeah,
Is he going to be happy with me? And is he somebody that can operate within a system? And can I
yeah,
help him develop? Why should I give my precious territory in
yeah,
Dallas or Chicago or whatever
right,
to Paul? Because once I give it to him, I'm not getting it back. And so it really has given me a unique perspective
yeah,
to look at people and say, okay, is this somebody that's looking to join a team? Do
mm,
they looking for a proven system? Do they want to be led? What are they looking for? And I
mm,
think that really has helped me with it. And also I think that um, it's the importance, I've learned over the years is listening to the franchisees,
sure,
listening to the people that are out in the field. The most important thing as a franchisor that we can do is get out there where the work is done and
yeah.
and meet the
Let the
people in the
rubber hit the
field,
road.
meet the customers. If you really want to know what's going on in your business, don't go out and talk to your franchisee.
Yeah,
Go out and get with your franchisee and talk to their employees.
mm.
And as a franchisor, you'll understand whether or not your communications really are getting down to the people that need to get there.
Yeah, yeah. It's you can see how accurate your game of telephone is.
Yeah,
Yeah. You kind of bring it up, right? That the territory is this exceedingly valuable asset, and I don't think people frame it like that all the time. I'm curious, what's the balance there? Like, is it can you give a really beautiful territory to a bad franchisee and still see success, or and can you give a conversely a great franchisee a bad territory and see success? Like, what's the balance there?
yeah, Paul. I think you're absolutely right. You can give a marginal territory to somebody that has the passion, has the grit, and builds the team,
Yeah.
and they can do wonderful things with it.
Hmm.
Likewise, you can give a great territory to somebody that isn't going to be there day to day and watch the business grow.
Sure.
That it's my way or the highway and doesn't build the team. So I think as I said to you in the beginning when I bought my franchise.
Yeah.
I bought a prime territory, and the guy that bought it from me just made a ton of money.
Yeah.
Uh, but I invested in the wrong people. I had the wrong team
Sure.
that were running it. So you're right 100%.
Yeah.
It's all about the team and the people that you put in place.
Yeah, and I'm curious, especially given like the number of franchisees you've worked with across businesses. What are you looking for when you're going through a process with a franchisee prospect? To really tell you, specifically if they're new, right? Like I think
Yeah.
it's one thing if somebody comes in and they've got like a multi-brand, multi-unit portfolio, right? If it's a brand new, net new franchisee, what are you looking for in that person to say like, hey, I know if I give them this heart to home territory, they're gonna knock it out of the park.
Yeah. Yeah. I think as friend dev people,
Mm,
we got to be willing to ask the hard questions.
sure.
Ask the question, Paul, why are you considering this? What are
Yeah.
you interested in? Um, what are you passionate about? What do you like to do?
Yeah.
And I'm looking for those things. I'm looking for a people,
Hmm.
somebody that is willing to be involved in the business day to day,
Yeah.
not somebody that's looking to manage this thing from a distance. So, and I'm looking for Paul's reasonable expectations.
Sure.
Is he got a 6-figure plus job that he's looking for and wants to replace it in a month? It,
A little
it
more
it
difficult
comes
to do that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It comes down to having the expectations,
Yeah.
and you as a franchisor clearly communicating to the candidate,
Yeah.
this is the journey that we're on. And time and time again, I've had franchisees coming from my past at
Hmm.
Jackson Hewitt that truly weren't people,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
You can hire people that are
Yeah.
people and teach them your job, but just know that's your limitation.
Yeah.
And in my business with Heart to Home Meals, if you're not the individual that feels comfortable being the face of the business,
Sure.
if you're not comfortable networking, making those relationships,
Being in the town, being around
yeah,
everybody.
if
Yeah.
you're not that guy, that's okay.
Yeah.
But you and I have to talk about who you have that
Hmm.
that that is going to fill that role and fill
Yeah.
that position. So. I think really, and I'm looking for that right person with heart to home that's mission oriented, that sees this more of a community service,
Mm.
profit driven business than just solely profit. There's
Yeah.
got to be that yearning and that need to give back for this to make sense for them.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think it leads really well into kind of the conversation around heart to home in general, right? I know in our like pre-call we do before the episode, we were talking about how y'all are taking like a very different approach to entering the US market. You guys have had global success. You know, you've been up in Canada and you guys are just now entering into the US. Maybe outline, how you're approaching franchise development a little differently than maybe you did at, Jackson Hewitt, or that
Yeah.
other brands are doing elsewhere.
Sure. I think one of the things we're blessed.
Yeah.
One of the unique things about Heart to Home Meals is our parent company, Appetito.
Mm.
We're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. We have locations or companies throughout Europe,
Hmm.
United Kingdom, in Canada. Like I say, we're doing $1 billion in revenue. Franchise development is not something that has to support the company.
Sure.
So we serve about 1.3 million meals a day
That's crazy.
in our brand,
Yeah.
and it's across all segments of life. It's from grade school, kindergarten children, all the way through seniors, nursing homes, hospitals, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So we really have a very deep business there, and so with Heart to Home Meals in Canada, we've been extremely successful,
Hmm.
and the Canadian market, just wonderful franchisees.
Yeah.
When you ask for validators, these are people that will really spend time talking to you, helping you understand whether or not this is going to be the right business for you. So when we come into the United States, a lot of franchisors, that are startups, they're bootstraps, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
and their franchise sales is really what drives the profitability of the company.
Yeah.
If I'm not selling franchises, I can't
We
pay
have
my
growth
marketing
problems. Yep.
department. Yeah, nobody's eating.
Yeah.
If I'm not selling franchises, nobody's eating.
Right.
Um, so when we came into the United States, we had success in Canada, we had success in the UK, yeah, but we're just different here, right? In
Right.
the United States, the
Yeah,
things are just
that's what my main question was going to center around. Like the European Canadian markets are very different markets than America, so I'm curious how
yeah.
it's translating.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure that the brand resonated here,
Mm.
and that it was scalable, that
Yeah.
we really could repeat it. So in 2019, we started out with 2 or 3 trucks around Boston.
Mm.
2 of our executives came over from the UK.
Yeah.
Chris Webb, who's our president now, is really actively involved day to day in the business. I
That's
mean,
awesome.
unbelievably involved in the business. So it was extremely successful.
Hmm.
And so now in 2024, we've started franchising and have bought our first franchisee in. So I kind of look at it this way with development, and we're not looking to bring in 50 candidates this year, 100 candidates next year to drive the business.
Yeah.
We're really being specific about the people that we're getting into relationships with,
Yeah.
because I understand and we understand that they're going to be our future and our
Right.
validator here in the U.S. And so our approach really is more handpicking those 5 to 10 to 15 franchisees that are going to make sense for us to do business with. Really have a tremendous training program and support network around that. So it's more focused growth than
Yeah.
it is cast the net and grow wherever. We're looking at some major markets
Sure.
that have good senior populations and
Hmm.
senior numbers. We're also looking at support, that's available in the community,
Sure.
looking at Meals on Wheels programs and things of that nature. As seniors start to age, they need a lot of different services and support that maybe is not there in some areas, and those
Yeah.
are the markets that we're looking at.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. And how was why was Boston the first city? Why was that the test ground?
To tell you the truth, it was kind of close to to to, 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 to Canada and to personally. I think our president was interested and he could see himself living in Boston,
Okay,
and
that's good enough reason, right?
strange things have happened, right?
Yeah. Hey,
But when you look,
Flamel's office is 2 blocks away was 2 blocks away from my house, so I totally understand it.
sure,
Yeah.
sure. So I'm sure there's a lot more scientific data that went into it than that.
Yeah.
But but yeah, so Boston was the pick. They're looking for a large metropolitan area,
Sure.
a wide uh, background of ethnicity,
Hmm.
and just looking for just a good spread of people.
Yeah, yeah, no, that makes sense. Was always just curious, and I know I was reading through y'all's website, and I think one thing that stuck out to me was that there's no royalties involved. Um, and I'm curious, I think that maybe addresses some of that double, triple bottom line action. Like, how does that come into the process as you are, vetting new franchisees, and you've got these kind of unique, different ways you guys are doing franchising?
Yeah, you're right. We don't have a royalty, so to speak.
Hmm.
Franchisees purchase the food from us at a wholesale price,
Hmm.
and they turn around and they sell it at a retail price.
Yeah,
And so we really are just their food production,
yeah, yeah.
and yeah,
Just
and
the
they're
vertical supply chain.
that's right, and they are a distribution,
Mm,
and we are very committed to the franchisees because they control our sales and our growth.
sure.
So we do a lot of marketing and advertising for them, television advertising. We do direct mail campaigns and
Hmm.
things of that nature. We have a great support system of local marketing that
Yeah.
will work with them in the field to help them generate new business
Hmm.
and grow the business. But yeah, it's not a royalty structure at all.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I'm curious, as you guys have grown into the U.S., is the is the franchisee funnel different, right? Like, do you come across different personalities, different types of people that want to buy this, versus somebody in Canada or any of the other markets? Like, I'm assuming it's got to be a little bit different.
Yeah. I'm not really sure. I
Yeah.
don't think so. I mean, I was able to go to the convention in Canada, our national convention, and meet with all the franchisees up
Mhm.
there, and they all come from a walk of life where they have a commitment to living a serving lifestyle
Sure.
and just serving one another, and they are very passionate about helping the community, getting involved. The common thread that I see, Paul, a lot of times, this business is so easy to understand. I say I'm
Mhm.
heart to home meals. I deliver
Yeah.
healthy, nutritional meals, and the light bulb goes on. And people always say, "Boy, I wish I knew about that when my dad was here,"
Oh,
or "Boy, if my aunt." And so it's a real quick. And so the people that are calling us are people that have lived it,
yeah.
that have cared for their loved one, that knew the challenges that they were facing,
Hmm.
and saw the opportunity for that type of business. So from Canada to the U.S., it is just that.
Yeah.
People are looking for, they're burnout on corporate America. They've lost their job 4 times and they're tired.
Sure.
Next time, it's going to be my decision, right,
Yeah.
and not theirs. Yeah, they've got a little bit of money and are looking to invest in something that they can get passionate about.
Yeah.
And again, you know, with the silver tsunami, with the market that's coming our way, it's just tremendous opportunity.
Yeah, and I did want to touch on that. I mean, I assume that has to help. The amount of like free marketing towards the silver tsunami that you guys have to get. I feel like I see articles all the time on the news. Um, I'm assuming market size isn't a big conversation for you. You're just like, yes, obviously the market's there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're projecting that over 80 million people are going to be over the age of 65 here in the next 15 years.
80 million.
That
That's crazy.
80 million, that's just unbelievable. What do we got? 370 million or so in the US.
Yeah,
80 million of those are going to be over the age of 65.
yeah.
Yeah. And our society, the breakdown of the family unit,
Hmm.
mom and dad live in one state, I live in another state, and then all of a sudden, how do I take care of them?
Yeah,
And I go to see mom and dad in Florida and realize that they're not doing things like they should, or eating the meals. How can I help out?
yeah.
So the first thing I do, is I start looking for people that can help. And
Hmm.
well, I really think that, brands in the United States, we're looking for somebody that we can trust, right?
Right. Absolutely.
If something goes wrong, I know there's somebody up the chain that I can contact,
Absolutely.
and I can trust. And so as young people start to look to take care of their parents, they're looking for brands that they can trust and systems and things of that nature. So it's just an easy answer. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, I think definitely went through it ourselves. Like my grandparents, as they were aging, like
sure.
exact situation where I think all their children and the grandchildren, we all lived in 15 different states, and it's like, who's got the time, who's going to be up there, and figure it all out. So I think the positioning is brilliant. It makes a ton of sense. And I'm curious, do you guys partner with like in-home healthcare? Like, how do you guys think about those partners within a local market that you all are really serving the same group of people. You all want to do the same thing, build healthier senior living and of that nature. How do you think about that? How does that come into your calculations as you're looking for new territories and bringing on
Yeah,
franchisees?
I think that whole industry, like you're talking about, is going to be expanding. Senior
Yeah,
healthcare is one of the hottest franchise segments that
yeah,
there is out there. When you look at interim healthcare, you look at home instead, you look at visiting angels, you look at, I mean, I can just
yeah,
go on and on and
yeah,
on and on and on and
yeah,
on. I'm talking to these people, and one of the primary things they say is, Rick, I'm already serving these people.
yeah.
These are people that I'm having to provide meal solutions for.
Mhm.
I'm not going to mention competitors, he said, but there are other competitors out there. They say, I go into homes and their meals are in the trash because they're
Oh wow.
just not good meals.
Yeah.
And so yes, so we look to partner with groups like that. There's also a lot of federal funding out there,
Oh,
Paul,
interesting.
that you can get right now. Our franchisee in Raleigh is working with a group called the Wright Center,
Hmm.
and it's the Wright Foundation. And the Wright Foundation is a senior care
Sure.
group that takes care of people with dementia and Alzheimer's. And there's government funding to provide these individuals with meals.
Yeah.
Now the question is, how do you source it? How do you get it?
Yeah.
So our local franchisee, we were able to work with him, to make those connections to get that
That's super
contract.
cool. Yeah.
So he's now providing like 30 people with meals 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it's those partnerships, and really that's why we're franchising and we're not
Sure.
running a corporate operations. We just can't create those personal relationships
Yeah. You're just
that
not in the market, right? Day to day.
right.
Yep.
Right, not in the market day to day, but that franchisee can, and we've got the expertise to kind of direct them and guide them and help
Yeah.
them navigate through all of the Medicare and Medicaid, identifying the people that are right to connect with, and then providing them with the tools and the systems to go out and make that deal happen.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's what
um,
you guys do great, right? Like you got the tool, you got the
absolutely
system, and then if they can make that connection, it's like hand in hand.
right,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah. When
yeah.
you think about the initial markets you're looking to expand in the United States, which ones get you excited? Which ones are you most excited about that you just think there's so much potential there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of hard to narrow it down.
Sure, yeah, yeah. Pick your favorite kid.
Yeah, right. Pick your favorite kid. What we do look at is the support systems that are currently there within the
Sure.
in the state, and although we're not competition with Meals on Wheels, we're completely different type of business.
Mhm.
We look at how strong that
Sure.
access to food is in a lot of areas, a lot of states. Meals on Wheels, there's a wait list. That can be
Yeah.
weeks to months long. Found out in North Carolina that you almost have to be discharged from the hospital
Really?
in order to get into the Meals on Wheels
That's crazy.
program there. So we're looking for areas that the healthcare system really is stretched.
Mhm.
Pennsylvania was a great area that we've been looking at. We've been looking at Ohio,
Yeah.
Illinois. We've been looking, obviously, at large populations of seniors
Sure.
being Florida, South Carolina, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
North Carolina, I don't know if you ever heard the expression of halfbacks. I always say that
No, I've
North
never
Carolina,
heard that.
you never heard? Well,
No.
everybody from New York and New Jersey and up north moves down to Florida,
Uh-huh.
and figure, wow, it's just too hot. so, so they
So they
pack
get
up and
halfway back home.
move halfway back, and that's Raleigh and Charlotte, in that whole sector
Uh,
right there.
that's
There,
perfect.
there,
My wife is from Charlotte, so I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to tell her that tonight. I love that.
Sure, sure.
Uh,
So, those are just some of the areas that we're looking at now. There are areas like Colorado, Denver,
sure.
and Phoenix, Arizona. There are pockets of huge
Yeah.
senior populations that
Yeah.
that just need that assistance and support.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No, that
and
makes a ton of sense.
yeah.
I love that, and I'm curious. As you've kind of been in franchising for a couple of decades, like what has changed the most, that you've witnessed as you've kind of grown through the industry, from when you first started as a temp to where you sit today? What's been the most striking differences for you?
What amazes me is everything is franchised.
It's everything. Once you open your eyes, it's like you just look at a circle in a city and you're like 90% of this is a franchise business.
Sure, and that's
Yeah.
understandable, because their systems, their support out there, and their
Yeah.
proven, their proven systems out there to,
Hmm.
to have to follow. So I think the biggest thing is the number of people getting into franchising.
Yeah.
I also think what I've seen is private equity groups
Oh my. Yes.
that are getting into franchising, and not only buying the franchise system itself, but becoming franchisees as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So um, good, bad, or indifferent. That's
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Time
And
will tell, I suppose.
I'm sorry,
Time will tell on that one.
time
Um,
will tell on that one. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I've seen in the last probably 10 or 15 years, there's a lot of middle management out there that is getting bought out that
Yeah.
have nice settlements that are coming out that truly have funds in order to do that. Uh, Probably 30 years ago,
Mhm.
funding really wasn't there through the SBA and other lenders, but as franchising has become more successful
Yeah.
and more understood, there's a lot of capital that's out there. So,
Yeah.
for somebody that has a little bit of equity, has a little bit of cash injection, if they've got the background and experience, that opportunity is available to them that maybe 30 years ago it really wasn't.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I think from the financing perspective, I totally agree. A lot more cash out there, and I think just franchisors have gotten more sophisticated, right? Like their accounting
Absolutely.
practices are way more effective, and so then you get to the item 19. It's like a trustable item 19. Like they can
Right.
come in and show why they think that territory is good. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Sure. Sure.
We always like to, towards the end of the show, do a little quick hitter section. The idea is I give you a question, first thing that comes to your mind on a response. How does that sound?
Oh no.
Let's put it this way: nobody's had any such a bad response. We've had to cut it before, and I think we're like
Okay.
35
All right.
recordings in, so you'll
All
be
right.
okay.
Yeah.
What's one thing most new franchisees totally misunderstand about the process?
Hmm. Um, I'll say it this way.
Mhm.
What I see that franchisees don't do is contact people that have been in the business, like you
Mm,
say, the offering circular disclosure document.
yeah,
Franchisors, we disclose to them, who's in our business, who we're dealing with. It's not as much the franchise agreement you need to be concerned with.
yeah,
It's what the franchisor does,
yeah.
and
Day
I
to
think
day.
that a lot of potential franchisees, miss the opportunity to pick up a phone and call Paul and say, Paul, this is what Rick's telling me.
Yeah,
Is it really true, or what should I be scared of?
yeah,
I think the other thing that some potential franchisees really miss is that as much as you're joining a partnership with the franchisor, the franchisees, you're joining a fraternity.
sure.
These are like-kinded, individuals that have the same business knowledge and skills that you do that
Yeah,
can help you. And they can tell you, hey, this works, this doesn't work.
yeah.
So I think those are a couple of misses that I think that people have.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. What advice would you give to somebody making a career transition like you did, coming out of an exceedingly large corporation into another big corporation, but a smaller arm of it, right? The franchising side of Heart to Home's a lot smaller. Advice for career transitions like that.
Yeah, for me, it was all the culture.
Yeah.
100% it was the culture. Heart to Home Meals, we're a privately held company.
Mm.
We're in our fourth generation of family members that
Yeah,
actually
that's
run the
crazy.
business. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And everyone that I've touched, anybody that I've gotten involved with, whether it's UK, whether it's Canada, we have some fabulous people in Canada.
Yeah.
They're all willing to help and provide support.
Mm.
No one has that silo that, hey, that's not my job.
Sure.
Everybody is just, throw me in. And that was the one thing that I loved so much with Jackson Hewitt.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, it was, we're all here as a team to be
Yeah, we're
successful,
gonna win together. We're gonna lose
and,
together.
and we're going to win together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. And you'd be amazed at it's not about having the most brilliant people. It's about
Right.
having people that are committed,
Yeah.
people that are all playing together.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I would say make sure the culture fit is right for you.
Yeah, no.
And that's the key. And that truly is what I was looking for. I was looking for an opportunity for a franchise system that was very um, um, foresighted. They were looking down the road. It wasn't what's happened.
Mm,
We're not going to be judged by the last quarter or the fiscal year. We're going to make decisions based on what's best for the long range
yeah.
goal of the company, and that just rang through. So I would say make sure that the values and the culture of the company that you're jumping in with meet yours.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting concept. So this is not the quickest way, but I interviewed the CMO of White Castle, and
Yeah,
so that's a family-owned brand, been around since like the early 1900s, right? And she described it the same way, where they're like, we're making 20-year decisions, 50-year decisions, because
right,
the expectation is that this is a private family brand that's going to exist for another 100 years. And I think it
right.
forces a different style of thinking, which
It
is
does.
very different than what you normally get. So it's compelling.
It does. I was in Canada at our franchisee convention there. Jan Per, who's our president of multiple nations, was asked a real tough question on stage.
Yeah.
And he basically said, we're making long range decisions here.
Hmm.
Certainly in the next year or so, that might be a good decision for us, but we certainly aren't going to hamper the growth
Yep.
that we have here in North America, making short term decisions.
Yeah.
This is something that this is the long range goal. We
Yeah.
see 370 million people in the United States that need to be served.
Yeah.
They're just blue sky. They're excited about it.
I mean, yeah, the quick math I did was 80 million people times 3 meals a day is 240 million meals a day you guys should be serving, you know? Uh,
So, well, here's the good news. I just found this out today. Our operators or a factory in Canada,
uh,
the chef there, Chef Mark, and all the nutritionalists, they can produce 50,000 meals a day.
oh, wow. That's a lot of
So
meals.
we feed we serve 1.3 million people a day. Just the Canadian operation can produce 50,000 meals a day. So
That's crazy.
we're ready for the growth and the expansion here.
Yeah, that's exciting. And then on that, great segue. What's the favorite meal you've had off the Heart to Home menu?
Ah, chicken teriyaki.
Chicken teriyaki?
By far, far my favorite.
Do you get
Yep.
to taste test when new things come out? Like, do they ship it around for everybody to have some?
Yeah, no, I actually I go to the corporate office a lot, and I have potential franchisees come in and visit,
Love it.
and we do a whole buffet
That's so
of
cool.
everything in
A
the
little perk
freezer.
for the job, right? Just a little perk.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. So
I love that.
it's a
And
lot of
then
fun.
a last question here. What's something most people don't know about you?
Most people don't know that for years I've been trying to learn guitar, uh,
Okay.
and as I would say, what a long, strange trip it's been.
What is like uh presumably you could play something. What's like the go-to if you're playing a song for somebody, what are you playing?
Everybody plays Stairway to Heaven.
That's, yeah. That's fair. I mean, it's a great song. Why would you not, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's a great song. Yeah.
I love that. Well, that wraps it for us. I always like to, before we exit, put the mic in your hand. Tell the people where they can find you, what they should be looking for coming out of Heart to Home. Just give it your pitch.
Yeah, yeah. So for those of you that haven't caught on, I'm Rick Peroe, and you can catch me on my email at richard.peroe, Peroe, at hearttohomemeals.com. Cell phone number is 757-818-5088. Would love to hear from you. I tell you, if you haven't had the opportunity to get on a van and deliver meals to senior citizens, it will brighten your day.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'd welcome you to come and join, walking into the home and just delivering meals to seniors, and just seeing the appreciation and the relationship that you create with them. You can't give
yeah.
that up.
Yeah, no, I have to imagine that's just a striking opportunity there along the emotional journey of buying a
Uh,
franchise. I can't imagine a better one.
it absolutely is.
Yeah, I love that. Well, ending on that note, Rick, thank you so much for being on the show
Oh,
today. We really
absolutely. We
appreciate
really
it.
appreciate it, Paul.
Yeah, for sure. And everybody else, thank you again for listening to another episode of Behind the Franchise, and we hope to have you on the next one. We'll talk to you later.